My name is Gage. I'm 19, a junior in college. I am all in on Upstart. By all in, I mean $80,000 in a 2x long ETF and $10,000 in out-of-the-money options. Unfortunately, I opened this leverage exposure about an hour before the Fed cut rates.
A further reduction in the policy rate at the December meeting is not a foregone conclusion. Far from it.
Stop. Please go up. Go up. I'm begging you, go up.
So I'm currently down about $15,000 or a little under 20% of my overall portfolio. However, the captain goes down with the boat and the boat hasn't sunk yet. On Tuesday afternoon, Upstart reports earnings, and I believe there will be such a violent reaction to the upside that my portfolio will look like I just plucked a leprechaun. I'm not going to break down my whole financial thesis on why I think Upstart's going to skyrocket, because I'm 19 and I don't really know what's going on. I kind of just full port shit and get lucky. But here is the rundown. Upstart is an AI lending company, so when rates go down, volume and transactions go up. Back in 2022, they had a really strong balance sheet. They're putting in good numbers, and then rates went up, and they lost revenue because there's less transactions. However, Trump has made it abundantly clear that they are cutting rates. So we should expect rates to go down. That is a macro tailwind to push this company up. And I think they are incredibly positioned for this next low rate environment. They've recently started expanding into HELOC and auto loans, and they have had insane, like 100% year-over-year growth in them. Since the last low-rate environment, they fine-tuned the AI funnel to have a 92% success ratio. That's huge. That means you can effectively take out the call center and give people their loans instantly, just like that. Despite all these, I would say, bullish things, the market has treated Upstart very, very poorly. They're down almost 50% from the past 4 months. There's a 35% short interest. Short sellers think this company is going broke, and I think they're wrong. The main reason Upstart is down is because people think the credit market is weakening. Everyone's saying subprime loans, the balance sheet's bad, blah, blah, blah. People are afraid, but the fear is not warranted. First and foremost, Upstart started its descent by a bad report that said 11.2% delinquencies. That wasn't true. It was 6.2%. They corrected it, and guess what? The price didn't react. It kept going down. And then this earnings seasons, all the banks are reporting earnings, and they're reporting really good numbers for credits. I think the risk for this earnings is significantly skewed to the upside. But the thing is, this all-in investment does not matter because I have completely de-risked my life, where if I lose this money, nothing fundamentally changes. Well, let's think of two people. Let's say David has 2 kids, a wife who keeps bitching to him about how she hates him, and he goes and works 60 hours a week in some white-collar job. He has a mortgage. He is stressed. Well, if he puts all his savings in a stock like this and he gets rinsed overnight, he'll probably blow his brains out. Me, if I lose everything, I spend $2,000 a month. I can make that easily throwing boxes at Walmart 30 hours a week. No risk. And then my debt for college, well, everyone has college debt. I choose my advantage. I turn 22, I get my CPA, and I can pay it all off. There's even less risk when you think about how society is rapidly decaying. I am a big believer that we are entering the final stage of an input-based economy. I think very soon we as workers will not be able to provide any input that is worth anything, because the LLMs and the Optimus bots and all this crap are going to be so mass-produced that we are going to have no footing to stand on to compete with them. So we'll be screwed. So every single day I wake up with less reward in the future because my overall society that I'm derived from decreases. So that also massively de-risk this choice, because if I'm going to shit either way, I might as well risk it. And on the whole, like, society getting worse thing, the TLDR of that is that we are in a race to create God. AGI, ASI, if we create those things in the next 20 or 30 years, the concept of scarcity will only be relative to the energy we can put in to fund these creations, these things. It effectively removes the human entirely. And we saw this in the Industrial Revolution. We saw skilled workers lose their job because all of a sudden you got these massive Ford factory lines pushing it all out. And we're going to see the same thing. We're going to see unemployment keep rising. Unemployment's not going down. I'm sorry, but we're not competitive anymore as a human. You're not competitive. So at the end of the day, what's going to happen is we're all going to get a big old universal basic income paycheck, and they're going to go say, go have fun. But the thing is, they understand that people are created through struggle. And when there's no struggle because there's no scarcity, what's going to happen is we're going to have a bunch of fat, dopamine-starved freaks walking around with their $1,000 UBI check, and they just want to do whatever makes them feel good. They want to go buy junk food, they want to go watch porn, they want to go do weird orgies and shit. And I think it will be disastrous for humanity. I think it will be quite literally the worst thing ever, because we as a society practice reverse eugenics. For the past 40 years, we've created a system where people who do the least amount are rewarded the most because they can focus solely on reproduction. So I don't think we're gonna have a society that can support abundance mentally. And if you really think about it, if we don't need 98% of people, the sole purpose of them staying alive is to bump asset prices for the rich. Why keep bumping asset prices if we're all rich, though? I mean, frankly, I think the likely scenario is that in the next 40 or 50 years, as soon as AGI is achieved, people find an excuse to exterminate 98% of the population. But kind of went off on a tangent there, but you get the point. I'm all in on Upstart, $90,000 leverage. Let's make some freaking money, y'all. Let's make some money.